General Hogerson, I'm concerned about the enduring cost of having National Guard and Reserve troops here on the Capitol grounds. I have two questions. One, what is the impact of those costs to your budget, 2021 budget? And two, at what point do you truly reach a budgetary breaking point if you do not receive resources to backfill those costs?
Senator, the cost since January 6th is about $521 million to the National Guard, and we've cash flowed that through our pay and allowances and operations and maintenance funds. We will need that funding back in our accounts by the 1st of August. Otherwise, it will impact our drill periods for both August and September.
In the area of readiness and modernization, General Daniels and General Hogerson, this question. Can you tell us here more about the requirement behind this new model, how it will be resourced, and what overall improvements it will provide for our Guard and Reserve components in the Army? General Daniels, you want to start?
So the rearm model, is that? Yes, sir. So what that will do will allow us to do multiple different things. One is to have regional affiliations, habitual relationships with units, and it will also give us additional predictability in terms of how long we're going to be spent during modernization, training, and then mission. So it will allow us to get into a very predictable cycle for our units, and that will help the employers and the families and the service members know when they're going to be going off and doing these missions.
And sir, with the National Guard, the benefit there is if you look at our state partnership, we're already regionally aligned, and particularly with the Army National Guard, we've taken our 8 divisions and actually allocated the subordinate force structure, so they're actually 8 full divisions. So that will allow us to help deter and also be part of the total Army so that we can align those units and develop long-term training relationships, not only with our state partners, but also in those regions.
General Hogerson, with the recent rise in cyber attacks against the U.S., what's the National Guard's role in defending the homeland from cyber attacks, and how is it working with other federal agencies with similar responsibilities? And finally, does the Guard have the resources it needs for cyber defense, the personnel and everything?
Yes, sir. If you look at our cyber forces, we have about 5,000 or 4,000 cyber professionals within the National Guard, and that's in 59 units in 40 states. We also have what's called a defensive cyber element in each state, and we did a year-long study under the a CMAP program, which basically looked at a CST type. And what came out of that is we believe that establishing those existing units to be aligned with what Cybercom would utilize, and we would man, train, and equip them the same, they would provide that capability within each state. If you look over the past year and a half, we had 2 incidents, both in Louisiana and Texas, where the governors activated their cyber professionals within the National Guard under state active duty to address a cyber attack, one to a school district and another one to a county. And using Louisiana as an example, they were able to come in and mitigate the ransomware and save tens of thousands of IT systems, which, as we all know, is something a school district could not absorb with their budget.
General, the CBO in the area of Space National Guard and Reserve that you mentioned earlier, yes. The CBO has estimated that an additional $100 million annually will be required to create a Space National Guard and Reserve area, a unit, with a bill up to $490 million annually for a larger Space Guard. Given the level of defense funding proposed by the current administration, how does the National Guard plan to prioritize resources for modernization while also standing up a new service component?
So,
Can
Senator,
you do it without more resources?
Sir, the actual cost is about $200,000, and that's just to change the name tapes on their uniform and the sign outside their buildings and the flags of the units. The units already exist. They're already performing the mission today. We don't need any additional MILCON or any additional overstructure. We basically just tape the folks that are doing the mission today, and instead of Air Force, it says Space Force on their name tag the next drill weekend.
That's good news. Best I've heard in a long time. Thank you.
Yes, sir.